East. The big reason is 7-foot center Pat Ewing, one of the game's outstanding defenders and intimidating shot blocker. The All-American continues to improve his offense. He's a complete player. Jerry Tarkanian's running Rebels are off to an impressive start. They've won all 9 games they've played. His son Danny is the team's playmaker, leading the nation in assists. Defensively, he has 11 steals in the last 2 games. The East against the West, a coast-to-coast meeting before a sellout crowd in Las Vegas.
Tonight's game between the Georgtown Hoyas and the University of Nevada at Las Vegas Running Rebels is sponsored by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Chloraseptic, real medicine for sore throat pain.
The largest indoor crowd in Nevada's history is here tonight for this matchup between Georgetown and Nevada, Las Vegas. Jerry Tarkanian and the Rebels' new home, Tark's Sharks Tank. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. Georgetown is set to explode in this season. Many are predicting they'll return to the Final Four after a year's absence. Nevada, Las Vegas, on the other hand, they thought they'd be rebuilding. They lost 60% of their scoring, 58% of their rebounding, but Jerry Tarkanian had an outstanding recruiting year, and they're ready to make their move into the top 10. My broadcasting partner, Billy Packer.
Hi, Gary.
Billy, even though the Rebels are unbeaten, they just aren't getting any respect.
Well, Gary, remember the last time we had them in the regular season, they finally had gotten that #1 ranking, went to West Virginia and got knocked off. But they have had a tremendous recruiting year, and I think, to be quite honest, losing 60% of your offense is something that puts you down in the polls. I think this is a good club, and before the year's out, maybe as good as the one they had last year.
When you have Pat Ewing, you are a national contender.
Well, they really are. Georgetown last year was about a year away in regard to seasoning. Now they're all there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go all the way to Seattle. It's a great club.
A brand new place, a sellout crowd. The third meeting between these two clubs. Georgetown has won the previous 2. We'll be back to introduce you to the starting lineups, the officials, and the start of the game in a moment. 18,500 on hand for this. Las Vegas has waited a long time for it. Georgetown against the Running Rebels. The starting lineup. David Wingate, he had 23 points the last time. Ed Catchings is shooting a remarkable 65% from the field. Michael Graham, his second consecutive start for the Hoyas. And Spoon James out of San Jacinto Junior College. Patrick Ewing, we've talked about him. What an intimidating force. Paul Brozovic, the leading rebounder for the Rebels. Fred Brown, he's the guy that gets the ball inside to Ewing. Tarkanian, the leading assist man in the country. Gene Smith, he keys the defense for John Thompson. And Jeff Collins is the leading scorer for UNLV. The men from the Big 8 in charge of this game tonight: John DeBrow from Wichita, Woody Mayfield from Norman, Oklahoma, and Mike Corey from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We will have the 45-second shot clock taken off the last 4 minutes. A lot of pressure in basketball, but probably was shown as much by this woman as anybody, Louise Tarkanian.
Well, Rose is sitting there, and she's giving the rosary beads a real working over before this ball game. I watched her, and she's under a lot of tension, but her husband sitting over there is blowing some smoke. Jerry gets about as nervous before a game as any coach I've ever seen in basketball.
You can see both these teams off to a very good start this year. They only lost by Georgetown earlier in the year. They lost to DePaul. Brozovic will go up against Pat Ewing.
Gary, I think it's important for the fans to watch the officials' calls early in this game, because these are 2 of the most aggressive defensive teams in the country. See if it's going to be a slow or a quick whistle.
Michael Graham, the freshman, brings down the tip. Here's Fred Brown, who missed 15 games with a knee injury a year ago. Gene Smith, he's the guy that's such an outstanding defensive performer. Into Patrick Ewing. And we have a foul that will go on Spoon James.
Showing an offensive play that 2 years ago you'd never see him take that half hook. Now he's got a full repertoire inside. Of course, now there's Patrick Ewing wearing his shirt. You notice that this year there's been a rule change. We've talked about the Valvano change. Well, this will be the Ewing change. No decorations, logos, stars, or emblems. Everybody can remember the little emblem on his T-shirt last year. This year you can't have any emblems, and your T-shirt must be the same color as your jersey.
So when they wear their gray uniforms, he goes to a gray T-shirt. this year from the free throw line is shooting 53%. See what distractions he has in the background.
Well,
boy, is this crowd pumped up for this game.
A local financial institution handed out all those towels before the game.
Hart's towel.
Nice follow through by Patrick.
So Georgetown is on the board, and look at the pressure now that UNLV must face.
Now there's what I was talking about, the quick whistle.
Fred Brown.
Georgetown and UNLV both go after people. They do a lot of full court pressure, a lot of tough man-to-man defense, and if they're going to call it closely like that, that takes away some of that pressure.
Well, John Thompson says we got to get them into their half-court game. We can't let them run up and down the floor, so that pressure will dictate some of that tempo. Now they're warning the crowd to back up a little bit. They're too close to the basket area. Razovich will inbounds, a foul on Brown. 19:40 to go. We're just underway. Tarkanian, and look at Smith. He's like a kamikaze out there defensively.
Great legs, great movement with the feet.
There's a steal attempt by him. Smith will go like that all game long.
Gene Smith has an advantage over Tarkanian in foot quickness. Tarkanian, a very crafty player, though, and protects the ball pretty well.
Tarkanian, the man who just dictates what they do with that basketball. He makes the good decisions. Off to Collins.
2-1-2 zone now by Georgetown, and Ewing really takes up everything in the paint.
Oh, there's just nothing in there. Spoon James attempting. Collins tried to follow, and Michael Graham has the rebound. Here comes Smith.
Looking for the lob to Ewing that time on the semi-break.
Wingate had 23 points in the game Wednesday night here in this Vegas Holiday Classic.
Good overplay defense by UNLV.
Boy, these two teams have the work ethic, don't they? And we're going to have a reach-in foul.
I think it's going to be a blocking foul on Graham. We'll have to see. Yep, it's a blocking foul on Graham, Gary, and they are really calling this game tight.
Gary Tarkanian hasn't gone to his towel yet. He hasn't started biting it, but he's about ready to.
Surprisingly, John Thompson came out with a big red towel. He always has that white one.
Well, he came up with a white one, though.
Yeah, I noticed he switched on us, yep.
That was the second team foul now against Georgetown. Both these teams kind of feeling each other out.
Georgetown now back to a man-to-man defense.
Here's Ed Catchings. What a surprise he's been. Razovich, I don't know if that was a shot or a pass.
I think the shot was partially blocked by Catchings and it was altered, but it turned out pretty well for UNLV.
Razovich, an excellent role player that time, getting UNLV on the scoreboard. Wingate into Ewing, and a reach in. It's going to go on Danny Tarkanian, collapsing back on Pat Ewing. Danny this year has had to battle back from a severe ankle injury, wore a brace right up to the first game of the season, and it's affected his shooting, especially from the free throw line.
Now he's really working on the free throw shot. Coach Dad was talking to me about it yesterday. What's he doing wrong? You know, I said, hey, Tark, you've been winning 80% of your games. Don't talk to a guy like me.
First foul on Tarkanian, the second against the Rebels. And Ewing now has missed two from the line. And those terrible towels, Tark's towels, are really disconcerting behind the basket.
I'd say one thing about his foul shot, though, Gary, they've been long. They've been straight but long, which is a pretty good sign. It's just a matter of calming down. Usually Patrick is pumped up so much, you have a tendency to shoot a little long. There was long again, hit the back rim.
Look at Collins get up for the rebound. He has a 42-inch vertical leap. Spoon James, his team won the NJCAA tournament last year in junior college ranks. Here is Collins averaging 17.
He has a tendency to have big games against good teams, too.
Fred Brown penetrating. Thus far, Georgetown has not attempted a field goal. Can you believe that? They're 0 for 0 from the field. UNLV is 2 of 4. And that's going to be
stepped out of bounds.
Baseline infraction. Smith stepped on the end line. And this defense of UNLV has been impressive.
Both teams, just tremendous defense. They play so hard in practice on defense. It really sets the pace for the games.
4-1. Nevada, Las Vegas with the lead. They are unbeaten, 9-0. Razovich. Ewing got a piece of it. Here comes Smith. And we're going to have a foul on Jeff Collins.
I think UNLV doing a smart thing thing, Gary, down the other end of the floor. Getting the ball to Brozovic. If you don't get the ball inside, even though he's not a big scorer, Ewing is going to have a tendency to patrol that whole area. So by keeping him occupied with a good pass every once in a while, even if it doesn't work out, it's a good move.
They'd like to get him in foul trouble. He was in foul trouble in the game here Wednesday night.
But it's hard to get a man in foul trouble if you've only got a score that's going to hit, 2 to 3 points a year. That's about Brodovic's average.
Brown will bring it in. The foul on Collins was his first personal. Third team foul against UNLV.
Nice step.
Wingate. Rebound Ewing, and a pushing foul will go on Brozovic. That was the first field goal attempt just a moment ago by Georgetown.
David Wingate's got as fine a first step as there is in a collegiate game. He just glides through the air.
Fourth team foul. There's a man in his 11th year at UNLV, Tarkanian.
It's a man-to-man out of bounds, too, so look for this sometime in this game for the lob pass into Ewing against that defense.
Graham, the left-hander, catching for the rebound. Tarkanian blocked that time nicely by Wingate, and you saw Ewing take over. Brown. And
charge.
We're going to have a foul on Fred Brown, and he released the ball.
When you're coming down in that break against a good defensive team, you better pull up at the foul line. Brown went 2 steps beyond, picked up the charge.
Second foul now on Fred Brown. We're having a substitution. Reggie Williams, number 34, replaces Brown. Williams was considered to be the best high school player in the country a year ago at Baltimore Dunbar High School. 17-10 to go in this first half, and only 1 point by Georgetown. 4-1. UNLV leads it. Boy, look at Ewing. You can't even see the basket out there, Billy.
I'm surprised he's out that far on Brozovic.
Here is Collins, the former University of Arizona player. To Spoon James.
They love him here.
Boy, they love him here, don't they?
Spoon had an opportunity to play in the Pan Am trials, but he's learned a lot about basketball since he's come here to UNLV. His defense is much better.
5-point lead for the Rebels. Ewing, he's fouled as he brought the ball down. They really draw a crowd. This time the foul is going to go on Collins, his second.
You're going to see what's happening. Everybody from UNLV is dropping over from the weak side. There were 3 men around Patrick Ewing that time, 2 of which came all the way from the weak side defense. You're just going to try to stop that lob pass into Ewing.
Substitution, Michael Jackson, 30, comes in for the Hoyas. David Wingate will leave. Wingate has had some confidence problems with his shooting. At the line now, 1 of 4 from the free throw line is Ewing.
Let's see if he tries to slow down a little bit. He's hit the back of the rim 3 times. There it is. See, the shot's been accurate every time. It's just been a little bit long. He's a little pumped up.
John Thompson, all 6'10" of him. What an inspiration he's been to Ewing. He has really brought him along remarkably well. To 3. All of the points from the free throw line now for Georgetown.
There's that full court zone pressure now.
Pretty tough, though, with Tarkanian running it to pressure them.
Got Ewing back there as the safety valve. Pretty tough to get yourself a layup. Now it's a 1-3-1 zone by
Collins. Brozovic tried to follow. Rebound instead by Smith to Michael Jackson.
He'll pull up for the jumper.
Nice steal that time by Catchy. 4 turnovers against Georgetown. Nice pass to Brozovic. Tipped by Catchy. And a whistle.
Ewing over the back.
They are not really backing off from Ewing at all, especially on the offensive board.
Well, I think any good ball club realizes you've got to take the ball to Patrick Ewing. If you try to just go ahead and stay away from him and finesse him, he'll block everything you put up.
His first foul, 4th team foul against Georgetown. We're going to have a timeout at the 15:55 mark of this first half. This place is alive, and Nevada, Las Vegas, with a 6-3 lead in the early going. Kendall Candlestick Park. That's the site of that game tomorrow. The Lions against the 49ers. Sims against Joe Montana. 3:30 Eastern, starting with the NFL today. And then on Sunday, the Rams and Redskins. 12 o'clock Eastern. 6-3 score. Nevada, Las Vegas, the lead. 15:50 to go in the first half.
Now Georgetown really has some size in the game with Dalton in there with Ewing, and they go in there 1-3-1. Ewing playing up top.
But they got it into Brozovic. He has 4 points. 8-3. The Rebels. Here is Reggie Williams, 6'7" freshman, out to Jackson. Jackson who started the year with a separated shoulder. Williams, oh, what soft touch he has.
Nice and smooth. That's the first shot from the outside that hit. First field goal for Georgetown tonight.
And remember, he's the freshman. He started the first 7 games. Up it goes now to Collins.
Maybe a freshman. When you played for Dunbar, the type of schedule they've been playing in that inter-city ball, you know that he's got a lot of experience on the street.
And of course, Wingate is also from there. They were former high school teammates. Catchings, that's his spot. Look at the rebound by Spoon James. Brozovic hammering his goaltending on Ewing.
Good hustle by Brozovic, right under the basket. Ewing draws himself a goaltend. Reminds you of the Final Four. Remember when he was slapping them away against North Carolina, standing right under the basket.
Ewing already this year has 27 blocks, Billy. Last year he had 106.
The year before, 119 as a freshman.
Here was Williams. Ewing with a rebound, and he's going to be fouled. It's going to either be Brozovic or Tarkanian. Both of them were up against him that time.
It's Brozovic, and he pushed from the inside, and that's number 2 on him.
16 foul already against Nevada, Las Vegas. And we still have over 14 minutes to go in this first half.
I think we'll see Richie Adams. Yeah, here Richie Adams going to come into the ball game now, and excellent rebounder. Doesn't have the size that Brozovic has, but he can go up on the boards very well.
You're looking at Graham, who comes in for Patrick Ewing, but the man that Billy was talking about is number 31. He's in the paint area. He's out of the New York area, and they expect to have a big game out of him tonight. And Wingate is fouled by Collins. And Collins is in some foul difficulty. That's his 3rd.
And he's going right towards the bench. He's got to come out of there.
And the 1-and-1, Billy, already in effect. It shows you what a guy like Ewing can make you do. You commit a lot of fouls early.
I said at the top of the show, a real key to this game is going to be the way the game is officiated. Not to say it's good or bad officiating, but there's an interpretation of the quick or the slow whistle. These referees are staying right on top of this ball game, and therefore you can't be quite as aggressive as normal.
Here's a man you're going to like to follow. He's a freshman. Fred Banks out of Las Vegas, maybe the best player ever out of this city. We watched him, and he is smooth. He's got great poise.
Just needs to get a little stronger, a little game experience.
He is checked in, replacing Collins. Wingate. David Wingate last year was the number 2 scorer on this team as a freshman.
80% free thrower. Good all-around player.
It's now 10-7, Nevada, Las Vegas.
Georgetown stays in that full court zone defense. They got Dalton all the way back. Not the same as Ewing, but still pretty good size.
Tarkanian, who leads the nation in assists, always looking for that open man.
You notice how they're not playing Tarkanian for the jump shot, though. It's there.
Catchings has missed his first 2 attempts. He's shooting 65% for the year. Williams.
Oh, a beautiful pass by David Wingate to start that break. He threw it out before he ever hit the floor. Great play.
And Jackson got it over in a hurry to Williams. 10-9, a 1-point lead now for the Rebels.
Now in that 2-1-2 zone defense, they're giving Tarkanian a shot from the top of the key, and he's going to have to take some.
Boom, James will try one. Wingate again with a rebound. To Jackson. Can't hang on to it as Michael Graham. 5th turnover against the Hoyas, and now Bill Martin will check in. Dalton will lead the ball game. John Thompson substituting freely in this game.
Every one of these kids that have been playing on the floor for Georgetown are basketball players. I mean, this is a very deep team of talented athletes.
Richie Adams is redshirted a year ago. In fact, he left school. But his Tark's son, Danny, thought he's such a good kid. They asked him to come back, and he's really tried to please Jerry Tarkanian.
There's the shot. Oh, he's got to take it. A good pass inside.
Catchings is fouled.
Catchings has got, that was a tough break for him because he's got a sore back. He got a TV for Christmas, tried to pick it up and twisted his back. Now there was the pass inside, got pushed from the back. He's got great hands.
Must have been a big TV set. He's a big man. Ewing will come back into the ball game, setting down. going to be Michael Graham. 10-9. Nevada, Las Vegas the lead. Banks now out front. Tarkanian's moved to a wing area. Here is Adams. Excellent athlete.
Well, he went up over Ewing that time to get that shot off.
Look at Ewing hustle. He can't save it, though.
Richie Adams is very much pumped up. You know, coming from back in the East, New York City guy on national TV, wants to prove he can play.
Nevada, Las Vegas will inbound to the 13-17 mark.
Again, giving Tarkanian a jumper from the top of the key.
And inside, 3 seconds against Adams. He was hot in the paint too long by John DeBrow. That is the third turnover against Nevada, Las Vegas. Now with a chance to take the lead is Georgetown.
She went to Ben Franklin, a school in New York City that turned out so many great ones, and no longer in the game.
Bill Martin, who started every game last year as a sophomore. Williams into Ewing. Look at the traffic. No basket. He traveled.
Patrick Ewing is facing the same thing that we saw Olajuwon face in our game, Gary, and that's the fact that everybody's going to come from the weak side, and when you turn on in, there are going to be people waiting on you, so it's tough to get the shot off. See that? 3 men around him, 2 from the weak side.
The thing that was so difficult for Georgetown last year, Billy, is they couldn't get the ball inside Ewing. They're doing a little better job of it thus far tonight. That's where they miss Fred Brown so much.
Well, sometimes you don't want to get it in if there's so many men around them. They should be hitting some jump shots.
Banks not able to do it, and it'll be off of Adams. Georgetown will get it back. Now, UNLV, Billy, is 0 for 4, and they've hit only 2 of their last 9 shots after a fine start.
I think the reason for that is they're giving Tarkanian the jump shot from the top of the key. He's got to take it. Basically, you got 5 men playing against 4 on defense.
Bill Martin out of the Washington, D.C. area. So many of them are. Nice play.
Soft shot.
That's what he wants him to do. He feels that Martin needs to relax more. He looked relaxed on that play. Here's Adams. Look at his jump. Rejected. Georgetown now with the lead, 11-10 for the first time. Banks will try. Nope, he was going to try it. He should have. Adams can't get to it and commits the foul.
A little bit of overpassing on UNLV's part. That shot is there.
That's where it hurts his team to have Collins on the bench right now with 3 personal fouls.
Watch this timing by Patrick Ewing. You're going up against Richie Adams, a tremendous leaper. Perfect timing by Ewing. Ewing and Olajuwon, I tell you, they can go up there and get that ball at the peak as well as any that have played in a long time.
He is a warrior. A little rough around the edges at times, but always he effective.
Well, John Thompson made an interesting statement the other day. He said Patrick's only problem is sometimes he just tries to be a regular guy.
Yeah, an average guy. He says he's got to act like a superstar. He is one. That's an interesting problem, isn't it? But John Thompson's always had, Billy, that rule that no one's a real star. So maybe Patrick's had to kind of compensate for that.
I think that it's his natural instinct. I really do. I think he's a team-oriented person.
7 of 11 from the free throw line is Georgetown, and interestingly enough, Nevada, Las Vegas hasn't taken a free throw. Georgetown by 2, 11:57 to go. First half of play from this beautiful new facility. Nevada, Las Vegas, 8-0.
And there's that full court pressure again. Georgetown just doesn't let up. I mean, it's a 90-foot game when you're going to play against them. You better be prepared for it.
I don't think there's any harder working teams than these 2 that we have on the floor here.
Their practice sessions are wars.
Here's Banks. He's had a little difficulty. Off it comes. Tarkanian intercepted by Wingate. Boy, Wingate's quick. Very versatile. He can play the guard or the forward spot. 5 turnovers against the Rebels.
Ewing and Richie Adams going at it pretty good inside.
Adams is about 6'9". He's given away 3 or 4 inches. Wingate. Martin with the rebound, and he is fouled.
Well, that's a fine rebound by Billy Martin. Really skied.
We mentioned Billy Martin has struggled a little bit. Today, he's come in, and he has acquitted himself well. Coming in is Eric Booker, number 15 for the Rebels. Senior, a former University of San Francisco player. He can play the guard or the forward.
We'll see Booker taking some outside jump shots once he gets loose in this ball game. Pretty good shooter from 15, 18 feet. That's the one thing this team misses out of Larry Anderson. He did so well. I mean, he could go outside that zone and really rip it.
Bill Martin out of McKinley Tech in Washington, D.C., one of the most heavily recruited area in this great country, and this man, along with Anthony Jones, came out of there. Since then, Anthony Jones has transferred here and will play for UNLV next season. 13-10, Georgetown. Adams, and that was Martin who went up and blocked it.
Sensational block. Came all the way across the lane.
Boy, is he playing at the Storm right now.
Rich Adams asking where are these guys coming from. I mean, he had a wide open shot when he went up in the air.
We'll bring it back out to Tarkanian. Rebels' last points were at the 14:57 mark, and we're now at 11:08 of this first half. They have been shut down by this defense of Georgetown. Booker, as you said, they want him to shoot it, and he couldn't get it off. Here comes Wingate. To Jackson. Wingate.
That's the perfect execution of the break. Hit ahead to the first three man and make sure you get the ball back to the middle, moving it quickly. Nice job.
It was like a clinic, wasn't it, down the floor?
UNLV need a basket badly here, Gary, and they're going to have to get it with some outside shooting. Georgetown gaining a lot of confidence defensively right now.
They've handled the pressure pretty well. 5-point lead. 0 for 6 now. Nevada, Las Vegas from the field. Their last 6 shots, they haven't found the mark.
See, nobody's playing any farther out than the foul line.
James is fouled that time by Martin.
Martin picked up a foul. You see that break. Now, hit ahead to the first three man. Look at Patrick Ewing coming down as a trail. Jackson gives it right back as soon as Tarkanian turns his head. A perfect execution of the 2-on-1 fast break.
Brozovic is coming back into the ball game. Catchings will sit down. Catchings not getting an opportunity to score like he'd like to. He likes to take that baseline jumper and hasn't been there. Into Adams, and he lost it, but he's fouled.
That's Reggie Williams reaching in. As Williams gets a little bit older, he'll pick up a little more strength, and when he reaches in, he'll get the ball instead of somebody's arm.
You're right. Williams is not all that heavy. At 6'7", he only weighs 185 pounds. A lot of people feel that he's a reincarnation of George Gervin, the same type of body build at 6'7".
I think that's some of those recruiting stories. If they've ever seen George Gervin play, he's got a long way to go, as would any college player, to be a George Gervin.
Wingate will sit down now, and coming into the ball game for the first time is Horace Brodniks, number 32.
Look, Jerry, sometimes that annoys me to hear those things, and the fact that, you know, they're only high school kids, 18 years of age, and they try to compare them with Dr. J or George Gervin, somebody of that caliber. It's just not fair to the kid. He'll be a fine player. A long way between playing high school ball and playing in the NBA.
Richie Adams just took the first free throw of the game for Nevada, Las Vegas, and hit it. That was the first points in 4.5 minutes for the Rebels.
Nice release by Adams on both of those shots. He's shooting 75% on the year.
Michael Jackson, he had 19 points against Marshall Wednesday night. He's coming back. He's got his rhythm back. Let's see if he has it on this shot. He's got his own rebound. Tarkanian batted it away, and here is Martin. They seem to be everywhere. Georgetown really hustling. That's kicked by Booker. The Hoyas will inbound.
Of course, Jackson's big game was last year against Syracuse up there in front of 30,000 plus fans when he had the 30-point game in a great Big East game.
Here's Brodniks out of Plant City, Florida. He came on strong late in the year for him.
John Thompson extremely deep with this ball club. Great catch.
Ewing, and the foul will go on Brozovic, who got his arms as he went up.
That was just a super catch by Pat Ewing.
That's 3 on Brozovic, the second one of the players for Nevada, Las Vegas to get into foul trouble.
Now watch this catch. This ball was an errant pass. Ewing goes up, pulls it down with the left hand, and that's what picked up the foul. Just an outstanding play, won't ever be in the stats. You know, good catches don't show up in the statistics at the end of a ball game, but that made the play.
See Brozovic taking his seat. Catchings replaces him. Ewing at the line. He has 3 of 6 from the line.
Patrick had a very unfortunate thing happen for him. He was very close to his mother, who passed away this fall.
I understand that Ralph Dalton's mother also passed away almost within weeks of each other. John Thompson said it was a very sad time for this team. 15-12. Georgetown with the lead. 9:39 to go in the first half.
Tarkanian still not looking for this shot.
Booker.
There it is.
Boy, that is a beautiful arc turn. 1-point game.
Booker could really help in this ball game with that jumper on the side. Still great defense by UNLV. A lot of pressure.
That was the first field goal in 5 minutes for UNLV. Brodnick misses. Look at Adams get up. A chance to take the lead. The running Rebels. Good fake. Good ball movement. Here's Booker again. Long.
He's a little pumped up on that.
Yeah, I think he had the adrenaline flowing on that one. Next into Ewing. Look at Ewing's quickness. But he's on the baseline. He's out of bounds. Nevada will get it. 7 turnovers against the Hoyas. It shows you how well this guy can run, though. He got down there in a hurry.
No big man in the game that I've ever seen can go from offense to defense in that quick first step like Patrick Ewing does getting up and down the court.
There's the trap on the backcourt. Arcanian got it out of there barely.
Catchings is excellent in the backcourt, helping to beat the press because he catches the ball so well.
Catchings out of El Camino Junior College. Adams against Ewing. He challenged him. Here he goes again. I don't think very many people get that away and off on the basket.
Richie Adams played in the streets of New York City. A lot of shot blockers in that town, so he's used to getting that ball up quickly. He's a very quick leaper.
Arcanian will bring it in. Again, NLV with a chance to take the lead. Arcanian, who's ambidextrous, outstanding high school quarterback. Good catching. What a move. He's fouled. The foul will go inside. Going to go on Victor Morris, number 55. A sophomore out of Houston.
You're going to see right here a textbook fake. Head and ball fake. Watch this. Good little pump fake. Gets it up in the air. Excellent play by Catchings. The replay really didn't do it justice. This guy is a very clever ball player.
A junior college All-American. He had a 26-point average last year. He's averaging over 17 this year. He had 30 points against West Virginia. He's not scored thus far tonight. He has 3 rebounds.
Jerry, you mentioned junior college player. Do you know on that floor right now, Jerry Falcone has nothing but junior college transfers.
Michael Graham is back in. Well, they call him Father Flanagan because he brings in all the troubled transfers and guys from junior colleges, and he makes it work.
I guess you could say Booker's not in the fact that he went to the University of San Francisco, and when they dropped basketball, he had the right to transfer here and not hold out a year.
But you consider the JCs and the transfers, and you've got the bulk of the ball club. You talk about Collins, and you just mentioned Booker, James, Flowers, who we'll see later from Indiana. It's a 1-point lead now for NLV, and we have a traveling call on Georgetown. 8 turnovers. Now Georgetown's hit a cold spell. They haven't scored since the 10:50 mark.
What we're seeing is just tremendous defense, and you just don't have a chance to get an easy basket, so you got an ebb and flow of the game going right here, depending on who can come up with some kind of a decent jump shot.
What's interesting, though, Billy, the depth has really done well for both teams. There is Booker to Adams. Boy, he wants the shot, doesn't he?
Oh, right over you. Right in his face. Right in his face. We said at the top of the show, UNLV didn't get a lot of respect before the year, but Gary, I really think this could be a better ball club than the one they had last year because of that.
They lost some good ones with Sidney Green and Larry Anderson. Right now, Georgetown a little shaken.
John Thompson doing an excellent thing. He's walked down. He said, slow up everything. He's at half court right now. Listen to this crowd.
Ewing looking for some help. That ball was tipped backcourt, so Brodnick can retrieve. They have 4 seconds. 3, 2. They've forgotten about the shot clock. Here they go. That'll be off of Ewing.
It's really thrilling for me to come to a basketball court like this, Gary, to see how college basketball is now a national sport. I mean, every place, a great crowd, great people, and outstanding teams.
$30 million facility. Thomas and Mack Center, the 3rd largest on-campus facility in the country, and no one is sitting down. had that 5-point lead here at this beautiful facility. They had the crowd kind of quieted down. All of a sudden, UNLV comes back. They lead it by 3 and a chance to move ahead by 5 on this trip down the floor.
Arcanian really doing a nice job protecting that ball, bringing it up against Wingate. Georgetown back now in a man-to-man.
Wingate loses his footing.
Neither one of these teams are going to quit. Kind of like Boston College against Maryland a week ago. It's a team with a lot of guns.
James, he's been quiet. He has 4 points now. 5-point lead for Nevada, Las Vegas.
And that's not booing in the background. That's Spoon that they're screaming.
And he will not tell anybody where he got the nickname. He wouldn't tell Tarkanian. He won't tell anybody. Here is Brodniks, or check that Jackson.
Maybe he thinks he's Joe B. Hall.
20-17. 6:20 to go at halftime. We're going to have the CBS Coaches Poll. Look ahead to the Lions and 49ers tomorrow. Oh, is James hot now? There he is, Spoon.
Great one-on-one move. That's got to change John Thompson's thinking a little bit.
He was the most valuable player at the National JUCO Tournament, and Ewing claps him a little bit. That's Ewing's first field goal tonight.
Perfect lob pass that time. Richie Adams was playing fine defense, and no chance to get any weak side help there.
22-19. Smith all over Tarkanian. And he had that one dribbled off his foot, I believe. Yes, it will be Georgetown's ball. There it is, 7th all-time leading scorer. Patrick Ewing.
Tarkanian maybe getting a little tired. You see it getting ready to come out. He just ran down the sidelines. He's going to be subbed for by Banks.
Jackson again. Williams tries to follow.
Good hands by Catchings.
Here's Williams again, and it's going to be off of Nevada, Las Vegas. Danny Tarkanian does not agree with that decision at all. Here's a man that's an academic All-American. What a bright young kid.
I think what he's talking about is what happened to him down the other end, but it's one of the few times he'll make a mental mistake. He had no place to go dribbling down there. Whether the referee's call was right or wrong, he made a mental mistake.
Tarkanian comes out. Banks, number 13, has replaced him. 5.5 minutes left until half.
I think that was a wise substitution by his father because Danny was getting a little tired. Wingate
used the screen well, and goaltending. Adams was up there. Adams is a pure leaper.
Here we see the drive. Great drive on the inside. Adams came all the way across the lane to get a piece of that. Good call by the official.
And a foul in the backcourt. Jackson reaching in. That's his first personal foul. Going to send to the line Banks.
As hard as these teams are playing out there, you better have a deep bench to play against either one of them.
Banks at the line, as we mentioned, the freshman out of Las Vegas.
Adams. They huddled up for their defensive call. Adams went into the huddle. And there's nothing illegal about that. He's not offsides in this sport.
This guy's going to be a player, Banks. He's averaging this year only 5'7", but hasn't played that much. In high school, he averaged almost 23 points a game. And he's an excellent free throw shooter. You wouldn't believe it by that. He was shooting 84%.
It was a good-looking touch.
And there's a turnover by Smith. He carried the basketball.
John Thompson's starting to try to work these officials a little bit. You see he and Jerry really going at it.
9 turnovers against Georgetown. A 1-point game. Field goal percentage, Georgetown getting the better of it. There's a steal attempt by Smith. He's just after you all the time.
And Tarkanian back in the game, took that little breather.
Tarkanian was coughing a lot yesterday. He has a little bit of a cold. Spoon James. Oh, what a tough shot that was. Catchings. Adams on the baseline. Taken away by Williams.
Look at Ewing coming.
Smith. Ewing is there. He's hammered. That's great hustle on Ewing's part.
It's incredible how well he runs for a big man. And they mentioned Elijah Wan before. There's another guy that can really get up and down the court. Watch Patrick Ewing fill the lane on this break. He was down on the other side. Smith tries to take it right in, but here comes Ewing. He's right there under the basket. Not only great hustle, but he's got the physical abilities to run that quickly.
Adams committed the foul, his second. Ewing will have 2 free throws coming.
It's not an instinctive move to go from offense to defense the minute that the ball changes hands, but he just has that in his brain and moves so rapidly.
So Ewing, after a shaky start, doing a better job from the free throw line. He's tied it up. 22 apiece. Patrick Ewing. Say a lot of people who Patrick Ewing is. We have the first tie of our ball game.
Nice nice touch. I just think he was so pumped up in the beginning of the game. He was shooting long. It was straight but long.
Boy, did Smith look for something there. Adams coolly gets it into the front court. 23-22, Georgetown. 4:46 to go. Boy, it has been very, very difficult physically for these teams. There's Adams, tough shot. Oh.
He may be a little too quick for Patrick when he picks him up high.
He has 6 points. They needed a big game from him, and he's giving it to him right now.
He's got a little smile on his face. Looks like he's enjoying playing Ewing heads up.
Now, he's played that sandlot ball in New York. He's not going to be intimidated. There's a rejection by Adams. He's all over the place.
Got that little smirk on his face.
Here's a guy whose grandmother passed away. He left school to go back to New York. They weren't going to have him come back. And Danny Tarkanian said to his dad, he's a great kid. He's got a super heart. Give him another chance. And he's responding. And timeout, Georgetown. And so the Hoyas use their first. They have 2 remaining. John Thompson will regroup. His team trailing by 1. 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go in this first half. At half, and also looking ahead to that game tomorrow in Candlestick Park between the Lions and 49ers. A 1-point lead for Nevada, Las Vegas. Georgetown to inbound. 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the first half, and Adams went after that one, but Ewing got it away from him. Reggie Williams baseline. Ewing is there again.
So soft. Oh, Richie Adams cleaning house in there. Put Williams right on the floor.
9 points for Pat Ewing.
Ewing trying to front Adams now.
Here is Spoon James. He wants to shoot the ball, and we're going to have a charging on him. He ran over Gene Smith.
There are those fast feet again by Gene Smith. Get down underneath Spoon.
Second foul on Spoon. Spoon originally from the Baltimore area, so he knows quite a few of these players on the Georgetown team.
He had played for the #1 junior college team in America last year, San Jacinto. But he's playing against a guy with quicker feet. He's going to have to shoot over him.
Georgetown by 1. Good ball movement. Ewing, he gets that ball up so high. He's 11 points. Michael Jackson all over Danny Tarkanian. Banks. The catch. That's goaltending.
Ewing sometimes does that for effect here, but I don't think that's a wise move. Catchings, first of all, is an excellent shooter from there. Secondly, anytime you come out from underneath the basket to block a shot right under the goal, they're definitely going to get you for goaltending.
Remember that championship game against North Carolina? You rejected about 5 of them early. For effect, as you were saying. That's off of Ewing. Nope, it's off of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Smart play by Patrick.
Indiana. Boy, I tell you, Bobby Knight rebuilding a little bit, but they're going to be tough. And Maryland over LaSalle. You saw Maryland last week. Spoon. And charging. That's his 3rd foul.
There again, the pass was made a little soon and allowed the defensive man, Wingate, to get back there and draw the charge.
So that is the 3rd Rebel now with 3 personal fouls.
See Danny Tarkanian, he commits on the pass a little early, all the way out at the top of the key. By doing that, it allowed Wingate not to have to turn his head, and he could be waiting there on the drive to pick up the charge. 1 or 2 more dribbles by Tarkanian, then the pass could have been quickly led to just one bounce and on into for the easy layup.
No question, Wingate was set on the play. VCU. Richmond had a big upset over Virginia Tech to go into the final of that game.
Virginia Commonwealth, tough club from the Sun Belt.
Wingate will go to the line. As we mentioned, 3 players now. Brozovic, Collins, and Spoon James had 3 fouls each.
Jerry Tarkanian is just asking over there, was it player control or not? He can't figure out why Wingate's shooting the ball. John Thompson not letting anybody get the edge. You're talking about 2 of the great coaches now. They're laughing at each other. And there's a lot of controversy about this game. John blows a kiss. A lot of talk of whether the game would ever be played because Jerry was owing John Thompson a rematch. John assumed the rematch would be next year. Jerry said, well, I'll catch you sometime after Ewing leaves. And John said, well, if that's the case, I'm not coming here.
This man really, some people don't like him, and he's an excellent coach. Jerry has just been doing a super job out here, but Some of the polls, he hasn't even mentioned some of his teams. We'll talk a little bit about that.
361 and 86 career-wise. That's the best winning percentage of any coach in major college basketball.
Wingate with those free throws is 6 of 6. He has 10 points. 29-26 Georgetown. 2:51 left in the first half. And there's going to be a foul on Reggie Williams.
A little too aggressive, and Catchings again shows how well he handles that ball.
Look at the displeasure in his face. But Smith, who is a co-captain, or I should say the captain for the second straight year, is really settling down, isn't he? That's the thing that John Thompson likes. He has a nice blend. He has a couple of seniors in Brown and Smith, and then he's got these young players coming along. Georgetown now, the first guy to get into foul trouble was Williams with his third. Catchings at the line. Easy Ed, as they call him. He's a cousin of Harvey Catchings, who played 76ers and Milwaukee Bucks.
Looks a little like it.
He does. Harvey played at Hardin Simmons.
Leading free throw shooter percentage-wise on the team was up over 90% early in the year.
Leads them both in field goal and free throw percentage.
See that follow through? He stayed right with the shot. Didn't back off the line and used all the rim.
3 of 3 there. The team is 5 of 6. And he can cut it to 1.
Look at that great concentration of the eyes. Looking right at that spot, staying right with the shot. Excellent.
A 1-point game.
This is Final Four type activity right here.
And the newspapers today said the game is finally here. They've been waiting a long time for this one. Oh, what a move. Wingate off to Smith. You think there's some athletes out there? Wingate gets it off to Bill Martin. Adams trying to keep it off, and Ewing's got it, and he's fouled, and Adams picks up the foul.
Ewing got away with a foul there. He pushed off on Richie Adams and was able to go ahead and get away with it.
That's 3 fouls on Adams, and now 4 players for Jerry Tarkanian.
We'll see it right here. Now watch Adams. He's under the basket, and he's going to get pushed right there. See how he got pushed out of the play by Patrick Ewing? Then he had to come back, and when he did, he committed the foul. Ewing got away with one.
So Adams with 3. He may have to come out. A guy coming in for him, Brozovic, who also has 3. You know, Ewing has relied, Billy, so much on his dunk. And he's trying to get more of a baby hook, a shot from 5, 6, 7 feet outside. Try to expand his offense.
Well, he's got the good turnaround jumper.
Well, he's got good rotation on the ball, but it won't go this time. 31-28 Georgetown. You see the time left in this first half.
Georgetown played a lot of zone midway through this half, but they've been going man-to-man for a while. Now let's see if they're going back to a little zone here again.
There is Booker bringing it back outside to Tarkanian.
Patrick Ewing is not guarding Brozovic.
And now Tarkanian's going to have to bring it out, spread it out a little bit.
He doesn't want to go up against that zone. Now John Thompson crawling up there and changing the defense.
9 seconds on the shot clock, though. 7.
Georgetown's ahead, see, so they don't have to come out of that zone. John Thompson wanted the clock. I don't know if they remember the shot clock.
1 second. The shot clock expired. No, the basket will not count. It will not count.
That was some interesting coaching right there. John Thompson went back in the zone. UNLV forgot about the shot clock. What happened? They held the ball out. John wasn't going to come out. He packed them back in there. Danny Tarkanian remembered just at the last second. He had to get it off.
That goes as a turnover. Las Vegas with 11, 10 for Georgetown, and a foul. Hanks committing a foul. His second.
Nice coaching there by John Thompson. And now he spread it out and went a little 4 corners.
You know, John, as big as he is, got the attention of his players on that. Did you see him? He had his hands in the air, signaling a 3, and everyone in the whole ballpark saw him doing it. He's not very subtle.
I don't think you get by with the SEC's coaching box. He's a little bit out. He's almost out of the coaching box size-wise when he stands up.
Need a safety belt over there. 2 shots now for Michael Jackson.
You might want to point out, for those that aren't aware of it, in college basketball, when you have the lead and you go back in the zone, it's up to the team that's behind to go ahead and bring the ball inside the hash marks. That's why Georgetown can stay back there and not have to come out.
Jackson missed them both, and that's not like Jackson. He's a 75% free throw shooter.
He's not into the swing of things yet this year.
31-28, Georgetown. 1:15 left in the first half.
Here they are back in the zone again. Really packed back in there. They'll force Tarkanian or Booker to put up a jump shot. You can see Billy Martin aware now that Booker wants that jump shot.
Tarkanian almost lost his 10 for Brazovic. Booker. Catchings is there. He's all by himself. And he's fouled. I don't think he could believe he was that open. He was in such haste to put the ball up.
And he was expecting somebody to come over. You're exactly right, Gary, to put the block on him and just released it a little quick.
Foul will go on Smith, his first. And Catchings to the line. Battle Las Vegas last year won their first 24 games, and for 2 weeks they were ranked #1 in the country. Ended up the year ranked 6th, losing eventually to North Carolina State in the second round. And you know what happened to North Carolina State? Boy, Catchings is deadly from there.
UNLV had a nice halftime cushion on NC State during that ball game. They got knocked out in the NCAA playoffs.
Chance to cut it to 1. That's not the guy to foul. They've hit 8 of 9 now. UNLV has.
Let's see it spread out. A little four corners coming right here with Jackson and Gene Smith and Wingate back there. Pretty tough team to handle here.
Jackson had it batted away, and it's going to go out of the Rebels. 33 seconds, you see the time.
I think if Georgetown be smart to go for 1 right here. Try to take the crowd out of the ball game. Make sure they go in at halftime with a lead.
They have 30 seconds on the shot clock, 33 seconds on the game clock.
Go for 1. Gary, that's what happens when I say you go for 1 shot. You don't try to go ahead and make any explosive move. You just don't want to give UNLV a chance to go ahead.
And they have a chance to go ahead this time down the floor. Now they're obviously going for the last shot.
Yep, they're going to go for 1. Look for Booker on a jump shot potential. Although he hadn't hit it. Down to 10 seconds.
Nice pass. Very coolly did that. 3 seconds. Broken up. Brazovic. He is fouled. It'll be foul on Gene Smith.
1 second on the clock.
I think they may have fouled Tarkanian before the ball got into Brazovic.
Yeah, they did.
That's the second foul on Gene Smith. And with 1 second, Danny Tarkanian will go to the line. Now here is the story in itself. You mentioned that Danny is struggling from the free throw line. Last year he shot 75% with his ankle injury, his dad, and he worked on his free throw shooting. He says, I've messed him up so bad now I don't know what to do.
Well, I personally, we talked about it yesterday, and kidding a little bit back and forth, but I personally think that Danny's exaggerating his follow through to the point that he's snapping it out. You watch his wrist. After he releases the ball, watch how his wrist is really snapped. Almost, they talk about a fish hook, but it's a little bit too pronounced.
Okay, there it is.
There it is. He's like pushing the ball up. But he hit that one.
Coming into this game is shooting only 50% from the free throw line. He's tied it up. His first point of the game.
He hit 2 of them.
That's the 6th lead change of the game. And the largest crowd in the history indoors in this state has been treated to an excellent first half. Nevada, Las Vegas with a 1-point lead at halftime. And Tartan the Shark has to be pleased with the first 20 minutes. We'll be back with our halftime. At halftime, Nevada, Las Vegas leads Georgetown 32-31. The Rebels unbeaten. Georgetown 5th ranked with only 1 setback thus far. And this capacity crowd of over 18,000 on hand in this beautiful new $30 million facility. Well, tomorrow from Candlestick Park, a divisional playoff, as we will have the Lions against the 49ers. Let's look at them. New facility, Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Halftime score, Nevada, Las Vegas leading 32-31.
Gary, just a typical halftime show. Lou Rawls strolls out to the center of the court and just does a little bit of song for us.
We'll be back with our CBS Coaches Poll. But right now, let's pause for this. The 1-point lead at halftime, 32-31. And Billy, statistically, as you look at this game, Georgetown's doing a better job from the field, but they're not doing very well from the free throw line.
Well, they really aren't, Gary. But you know what's absolutely amazing about Georgetown's defense? They're holding teams this year to 36% from the field, and that's exactly what they've got UNLV at here in the first half of the ball game. Their defense is very tenacious.
UNLV was leading the PCAA in field goal percentage. Now, you can see the rebounds and turnovers are pretty equal. But something we wanted to do with our shot chart today is show you what Patrick Ewing defensively can do to a ball club.
Well, what I want to show right in here, Gary, and the darts that are dark in color or red in color for those that have color are those that are made by UNLV. They did a smart thing. They went inside to try to work on Ewing rather than shoot all from the perimeter here on the outside. But when you go inside against Patrick Ewing, it's very difficult to score consistently. And as you can see, they didn't do a very good job against him.
Adams took it right in his face a couple of times. Now, on the other end, you want to show us something about the shooting of Georgetown's guard.
Yeah, well, anybody that plays against Georgetown is really going to pack the area right in here very tightly with their defense. Therefore, Georgetown's going to have to show they can make perimeter shots. And you can see so far in this ball game, they've only made one and taken very few. So UNLV's doing a good job in that respect, and the Georgetown guard's going to have to put that ball up a little bit.
So as we start the second half, UNLV will inbounds the basketball. We had 6 lead changes in this first half. The biggest lead by each side was 5 points. Tarkanian, Brozovic, Jeff Collins, along with Spoon James and Ed Catchings will start for UNLV. Collins with 3 fouls will come in. On the other hand, same 5 that started for Georgetown. Smith and Brown of the guards. Graham, Wingate, and Ewing. Brozovic, that was rejected, partially blocked by Ewing, and Graham with a deflection.
Right back what we showed on the shot chart, trying to go inside on Ewing, and it's just not there.
Wingate, nice, hot jump shot. Georgetown with the lead. 12 points for David Wingate.
Tarkanian trying to tell that referee that Smith got a piece of the arm. Be careful talking to that referee because Smith will come and pick your pocket. Smith's not even guarding Tarkanian away from the ball.
Spoon James, he had a flurry there for a moment, hit a couple from outside, got into some difficulty trying to move in. Rebound by Wingate. Out it comes to Smith.
Look at Ewing looking for the lob.
And Smith is fouled. No, that's going to be charging on Smith.
John Thompson saying he was coming across the lane.
That's the 3rd on Smith. Brozovic will inbounds.
Smith really wanted to go ahead and lob that ball up in the air to Ewing, who was in perfect position to catch it on the break.
There's what we're talking about statistically, and for the season, well, UNLV doing a much better job at the free throw line.
Candy Tarkanian has to realize what Gene Smith's doing to him. James wide open.
Boy, he was open. Spoon James now with 8 points. And the lead reverts back to Nevada, Las Vegas. Fred Brown didn't play all that much in the first half. Smith into Patrick.
Oh, the ball rolled off his finger.
Followed by Graham and Ewing.
Ewing wasn't sure he had the room to dunk that last one. The ball rolled off his finger.
Graham can really help Ewing inside with his power rebound. Something they had 2 years ago with Ed Spriggs. Remember that? They need somebody there to take some of the pressure off of Ewing. Here's Collins.
They're starting to take, just as we showed in the shot chart, they're starting to realize that that perimeter jump shot is there. And Collins and Mr. Spoon there, they can go ahead and hit that jump.
36-35. The Rebels lead the Hoyas. 3rd meeting ever between these two. Brozovic going for the steal, and it's off of Brozovic.
Good fighting defense by Brozovic, trying to get out in front. Patrick Ewing coming across the lane.
Now Michael Jackson comes into the ball game. Gene Smith will sit down. There's Jackson out of Reston, Virginia, out of the Washington, D.C. area. Brown will inbound. Nice pass to Ewing.
Gary, it was inevitable that UNLV would get in trouble being man-to-man on out-of-bounds situation against Ewing because he could get that lob pass in there so well.
Patrick Ewing was 17 points. You're going to let Daddy take it, aren't you?
He's got to take it and hit that shot. Been there the entire game.
He has not been shooting well, and of course everyone knows what your shooting statistics are. They scout you so well. He's only shooting 38% from the field.
But you've got to take it, Gary, to get back in the swing of things.
1 point lead for Nevada, Las Vegas. Hanging shot by Wingate. Boy, he is so smooth, so fluid. He has 14.
James again.
Ewing, and that one off of Patrick. Las Vegas will inbound.
I think Ewing was ready for contact that time when nobody hit him. It shocked him. 15.6 rebounds.
Well, his average coming in here was 15 points and 10 rebounds.
Pom-pom girls not wanting to get out of the action there. Getting one of the Las Vegas review shows or something. They figure they've seen on TV.
That's the best show in town here, though, right now.
He's Tarkanian again. It's got the jump shot room, and he's got to look to take it.
Catchings, that's his spot. Brozovic mistimed the jump. Catchings had a hand on it, and it's off of Georgetown.
That was a smart play by Brown, though. If he couldn't get it, he was best backing it out of bounds because UNLV really had people there to get the shot up.
Catchings has not been able to make that shot work for him. That's his area, about 10, 12 feet on the baseline.
He hadn't had a man in his face like that all year either.
Good point. Junior college, you don't have guys up above you like that.
Georgetown stays in the zone on an out of bounds.
A 1 point lead for the Hoyas. They're coming out a little further on the floor now to pick them up.
There's 3 pretty good perimeter shooters out there now. Spoon, James, good feed.
And Brozovic had it hammered away. It'll be the Rebels basketball. Crowd wanted a foul.
I'm really impressed at how well Spoon James has gotten used to the UNLV system.
Both he and Catchings.
You're looking at two fellas, for all intents and purposes, freshmen in terms of knowing the philosophy of the coach.
But Tarkanian has that ability, doesn't he, to kind of bring people in and make them all work together. He's a fine joker. 9-20 win seasons at Nevada, Las Vegas, and then before that at Long Beach State. And we're going to have a holding foul inside.
That could be
Brozovic, yes it is, and that's 4 on him.
He was trying to block out on the baseline to set up a screen.
Tarkanian can't believe it. Look at him. He about went over backwards in his chair.
Look at it. Jerry, nobody feels sorry for a man that wins 80% of his games. You better get back up there.
He's talented.
I don't know. It's underneath his... I think he may be so nervous he can't use it.
Here's Ewing against Brozovic. Blocking off nicely that time was Fred Brown. Here comes Collins.
Bad pass.
Catchings. Oh, they don't get a goaltending. Graham was up there. And Brown walked to the ball.
And he's going to sit down. That's 2 quick turnovers by Fred Brown. Trying to do a little bit too much. You know, remember something interesting about Fred Brown, Gary. He was the MVP of the game in the semifinals against Louisville. And then in the final game, everybody remembers when they made that pass to James Worthy.
They pass. He'd like to get back and try to redeem himself. Tark working the official.
He wants that goaltending call. Too late.
Mark it down, the Lions and 49ers tomorrow. And then on Sunday at noon Eastern, the Rams against the defending Super Bowl champion Redskins. You know, Tarkanian thought it should have been goaltending on Michael Graham. We're going to go back on a replay and see if it was.
Well, you see from this angle, it's kind of obvious it was not. It was kind of funny. Brozovic came over to the referee and said, hey, that ball had touched the glass. In college basketball, it doesn't make any difference. If it touches the glass and is still on the way up, it's not goaltending. An excellent call by the officials.
Well, Georgetown still with a 1-point lead.
And in the zone, they're really going to force UNLV to shoot some jump shots now.
Here's Catchings out to James. Collins has the shot. Partially blocked. Ewing comes down with it. Well, they got out on him, didn't they?
That's going to be a technical foul. Yes, sir.
On the UNLV bench.
Now, what's so bad? That's going to be a 2-shotter. That wasn't on Jerry Tarkanian.
Jerry looks around. He was not even up on his feet that time.
No, but he's hot right now. You can fry an egg on his head right now.
He's going to find out who it was. 2 shots on the bench. That's a 2-shot foul.
Now,
that may have been the culprit right there.
No, that's
Tom
Fred
Roberts.
Roberts' brother. Yeah, he didn't do it. No, I know who did it, but we don't want to put it on him. In any case, it's called on the head coach, so it's 2 shots. Jerry is really out.
Oh, man. Jackson with another free throw. He hit the first. 2-point lead now for Georgetown.
Talking about that man, Riverside City College from 62 to 66, 131 and 9. Then he went to Long Beach, 67 and 4. I mean, the guy has just been unbelievable. 165 in a row at home when he was down at Long Beach.
How about that 76-77 team?
Yeah, and he had a win streak here in UNLV of 72 in a row.
Their old place. They've won 6 here, 21 straight, going back to their old facility in this one.
That could be a big help, though, for Georgetown.
They hit both free throws. They still have possession of the basketball. A costly technical, and Jackson.
Some one-on-one move.
Oh, that's 4 big points for him. 6 for the game. Collins to Catchings. That will count. Graham was up against him. 10 points.
Ed Catchings has the proper name for himself. It might as well be, his last name should be his nickname because he has about as good a pair of hands as anybody I've seen come along.
Some people thought he was the best junior college player in California last year. And at 6'8", he has made a tremendous adjustment, as you said, to this program. A pleasant surprise.
That's a beautiful catch to do it on the dead run and then have the composure to put it right up.
And he makes a 3-point play, and it's back to a 2-point game.
Study team to come back and not let that technical foul holler.
Wingate with James on him. Brett Brown.
Super crowd, isn't it?
What a beautiful place, too. Great basketball facility. Here's Jackson again. That's twice he's gone around Danny.
He's a little too quick for Carpanian.
19 points for Ewing. 45-41. Georgetown.
His father yesterday said you cannot let your man beat you out front with a dribble. If you do, Ewing is going to be impossible to handle.
Boy, they reach around on that zone, don't you? You better protect the ball in the wing. Collins, nice pass to Catchings. Ewing got a piece of the ball, and it still went in.
Again, the super hands.
Catchings with 13. 2-point lead, Georgetown. Jackson again, he sparked him here. Rebound, Graham.
He's a left-hander, and it really helped him on that play.
Well, that can really help Georgetown. And Graham can compliment Ewing like that.
Arcadian wants a time. Excellent call on his part. He can feel some momentum going the other way.
And so the Rebels have 2 timeouts remaining. 13:43 to go. 47-43, Georgetown. This is a dandy. Texas, the number 2 ranked team, the best defense in the country against Georgia. And they have a fine defense also. The Cotton Bowl Monday at 1:30 Eastern. 47-43, Georgetown with the lead. The Rebels asked for the timeout. They've regrouped, and we're glad to have you with us. 18,500 on hand for this one.
Very important possession right here. UNLV's got to get off a good shot.
There's a steal by Wingate. To Smith, broken up by Collins.
Excellent quickness by Collins. What's happening to Carcanian? And Gary, this has been going on the whole game. They're giving him the shot and taking away the passing lane. He's got to take the shot to create the passing lane.
Catchings will shoot it. He thought he was going to, but Ewing was there instead. Oh, was that impressive. Blocked it and took it over. Here's Wingate wide open. And a foul on Graham underneath the basket, pushing out.
Little lack of experience there on the part of Graham, a freshman. He had a wide open shot on the part of a teammate. All he should have done is get position.
The basket did count. Graham is just a raw talent. He's a ornery type guy in there. Very physical, and that's what they lacked a year ago. Look at that front line scoring. Here's, of course, the bulk of that.
Full court pressure, Ewing all the way down on the other end of the court. So you get no layups.
49-43. 6-point lead, the biggest lead of the game. Catchings trying to go across the middle, but how could you get it to him with all those arms? There he is. He's not going to shoot this one.
Well, he's been forced out. There's Danny Tarkanian again, hesitating on a jumper.
No one wants that shot. James missing. Here comes Smith. Tough shot. Graham with the rebound. And he's fouled. It's going to go on Spoon James.
Gene Smith was coming down there. One of the things you get used to your teammates, he knows that Patrick Ewing's going to be on the break. So he's coming right here. Knowing Ewing's coming, he puts up actually a bad shot. But he knows Ewing's going to be there for the rebound. Unfortunately for Georgetown, the ball just bounced away a little strong.
That is the fourth foul on James. Coming in will be Adams, but Adams likewise has 4 personal fouls. They're in some real foul difficulty.
Last year, UNLV couldn't go this deep. They got in foul trouble with a couple of key players. They were in serious trouble. This year, I think they're a lot better off.
3 players now with 4 fouls. Adams, Brozovic, and James. Collins has 3. There's Graham. Michael Graham. You're getting him ready for the league season. That's what John Thompson said. They wanted to play more, get some confidence, so when they storm into that rugged Big East, they're ready for it.
Well, Sonny Allen, our coach's poll, made a good point. He said that if I knew I was going to get into the NCAA or the NIT automatically, I'd play tough teams in December, too. These 2 clubs know they probably will be there.
50-43, biggest lead. Catchings, I don't know how he got the shot off. Who's that going to be awarded to?
Adams, I believe.
Adams checks in and makes his presence felt. 5-point lead. Remember, Adams playing with 4 personal fouls.
Really fine defense here.
Wingate, oh, what a pass that was. He was in trouble. Into Ewing.
Lots of push by Graham. He got away with it.
Booker gets the ball anyway.
Look at Catchings.
Catchings down. Oh, he missed it.
No call. And this game moving up and down the court pretty well now.
It's changed, hasn't it? Now, that wasn't a very wise shot by Wingate. Collins.
Beautiful play.
Boy, that was a tough one to make.
Really some athletic ability to catch that ball.
So all of a sudden, the 7-point lead has been cut to 3. And this crowd is back into the game. Jackson, no, charging. No basket.
Jackson is beating his man. Catchings again doing a good job. Now here's his pass by Tarkanian. Beautiful pass, but watch the catch. And then right up by Jeff Collins. Some play.
He's the best leaper, Collins is, that Tarkanian has ever had for his size. He's 6'2". He's out of Phoenix, Arizona, South Mountain High School. Bruce Vanley and Bernard Thompson played on that same high school team. Vanley at Tulsa and Thompson at Fresno State. They had a fine team.
You know, we saw Thompson this summer in the World University Games. A great ball player. They had an outstanding win, they being Fresno State the other day against Houston.
Now, John Thompson's taking his big guy out of there. Ewing is sitting down. 11:06 to go. A 7-point lead has been cut to 3 and could be cut to 1. Ewing down with 19 points and 10 rebounds.
It's a quiet 19, too, you know.
There's Banks.
That's the shot that's there.
And Tart got him in to take it, and the freshman nailed it. A 1-point game. Jackson again penetrating. Bill Martin got that with Adams in his face. We got a foul against Dalton, pushing off after the shot.
I don't know what UNLV is going to do about it, but they can't handle Jackson now one-on-one. He's beating his man every time.
Well, they got Banks in there. Maybe they can put him on. That foul against Dalton is his first.
All John Thompson wants Dalton to do right now is to give him about 3 solid minutes so he can give Ewing the rest to be ready for that stretch drive.
5 team fouls against Georgetown. 52-49, and there's a steal almost. Breaking the pressure to Booker. Booker against Ewing by Dalton, and followed by Adams. It's a 1-point game. What a follow by Adams.
A lot different without Ewing back there to protect against that dunk. Now we have a little
with 6 points. Back to a 3-point lead now for Georgetown.
Reggie Williams showed us something there, though, taking that ball down the middle.
You got a feeling Banks will put one up. Here's Collins.
Gary Banks didn't put it up, but it was a smart thing he did. He created the open shot by forcing what looked like to be a jump shot.
He hit that shot. He got a lot of confidence, didn't he? Here's Jackson on Banks. They can't stay with Jackson.
He's causing some real problems now. He might have hurt his ankle right there.
And so 8 points for Michael Jackson. We have a timeout. 9:38 left in the game. A 3-point lead for Georgetown. CBS's coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station. Right now, we have a game that has, I think, lived up to everyone's expectations. Here in Las Vegas, here for CBS and both teams.
No different than the Carrier Dome, just about 14,000 fewer people, that's all. Great crowd in here tonight. They understand the game and really rooting for the clubs.
3-point lead now for Georgetown. 9:25 left. Banks remains in. The Booker, they've got some shooters in there.
Yeah, they've got Banks up at the point now, which really makes it tougher for Georgetown to defense because he'll take that jump shot.
Red Brown at 6'5", though. Those long arms is tough. Booker. Rebound. What hands? Oh! Great hand. Catchings with 15. A 1-point game. Here's Ewing handling the ball in the backcourt.
A double team. A double team.
That's kind of a safe pass. Get it up to that big guy.
Well, Georgetown did a smart thing. They're not trying to take it all the way.
Charging on Jackson. First time they put him under control. His third foul.
And there's Sonny Allen. He's one of the coaches on our coaches poll. Coaches Nevada Reno. What does a coach do on his day off? He sits and relaxes and watches the game. A lot different than when you're over there having to go through the sweat and tears.
He had his son playing for him, didn't he, Nevada Reno?
Billy, yes, he's playing in the Continental League now.
56-55, a chance to take the lead. Las Vegas. Catching. Boy, they got 3 guys to jump out on him. A hurry. Banks will try it. Oh! The Rebels lead it.
Let's see if they go inside Ewing. He hasn't touched the ball in quite some time.
That's the first lead for Nevada, Las Vegas since they led 38-37.
I think it's time to go into Ewing. There it is.
And Adams got a hand on it. Kenny tried to save it. Adams got to be careful with those 4 fouls. Jeff Collins comes back in, and Booker will check out of the ball game. Adams, Brozovic, and James's 4 fouls. Look at that. Our final at the Cable Car Classic. Santa Clara defeating Ohio State.
Ohio State's the only team to beat Maryland this year. Here we are back in a man-to-man and out of bounds. Dangerous move.
Martin off to Jackson. 7:55 Ewing, and that'll be all for Adams. He's fouled out.
Tough break for Adams. He was out of position, tried to come all the way across the lane to stop Ewing.
Iowa defeating Memphis State. Iowa had some tough going there early, but they settled down.
They played quite a schedule, Gary. You know, a team that wasn't on our coaches poll that I think is going to be a great club, there goes Adams out of there, is Oregon State. They had those 3 starters out, but they played a pretty tough schedule. They're going to be a good club.
Adams leads with 10 points and 5 rebounds, and he shot the ball right at Pat Ewing. Got away with it a couple of times. And coming in will be Brozovic, but he likewise has 4 fouls.
Well, one other player that has not been used tonight is Flowers.
John Flowers.
Right. He would be expected to get in here if another foul happens on Brozovic.
He's a guy that transferred from Bobby Knight's team in Indiana. Hasn't played but 3 games, though. He just became eligible at semester break.
Yeah, this is a tough place to go ahead and get your baptism.
A 1-point lead for UNLV, and a holding call against Collins away from the ball, and now he has 4 fouls. Billy, listen to this. Adams is fouled out. Brozovic, James, and Collins have 4. They're going to have to go to the very, very bottom depth of that bench at this stage.
Well, depending on who's Collins is guarding, if they're in man-to-man, I'd go ahead and let Reggie Williams take a man-to-man one time, try to pick up that 5th, because Collins is not only tough on defense, he's very dangerous on the offensive end.
Arcanian almost comes up with the steal. This guy plays so hard. Yesterday, he was just in a lather in practice. He was working so hard.
Well, they're going to try to get Brozovic out of there, too. John Thompson realized that UNLV really in trouble foul-wise.
Brown tries to get it inside. That's only Ewing that can get to that ball. And he's in trouble and played it off very alertly to Nadia Brozovic.
Smart play by Patrick Ewing. Fans are booing, but it was a very intelligent play.
Ewing really having to work right now to get that open shot.
You know, after this semester, Patrick Ewing will not have any courses that he has to have for requirements of graduation.
Here comes Banks. Jackson fouls him. Oh!
Good job by the officials getting that under control. Jackson just wanted to catch him, and he tripped thereafter. He didn't really want to push him into the goal.
That's 4 fouls on Jackson.
Again, Tarkanian seeing ahead very well. Makes a pass. Now you can see Jackson just wanted to grab him here. And what happens thereafter was kind of accidental.
Looks like he got our cameraman at the same time. So Jackson with his 4th personal foul.
Now that should only be one shot. Should be a one-on-one.
He's going to give him 2, though.
I don't agree with that. I don't think it was intentional. If we see that play again, Jackson went in there to try to steal the ball. It was not an intentional foul. He didn't grab him.
Brown disagrees. He says it's 2. Let's look at it again.
I disagree. Watch what he does right here. He's going to try to steal the ball. Watch this. There, he's going for the ball. And at that point, now he was just trying to hold him up there, and they both slipped. That was not an intentional foul.
Jackson leaves, and the crowd not happy with him at all. I think it's a good point. And I think the crowd might have dictated that being a 2-shot foul.
Well, it could have been, but I don't think there was any intent to hurt the man there.
Graham has come into the ball game. Bill Martin will sit down. 2 shots now for Banks.
He's a good free throw shooter, maybe to hit a one-on-one. Anyway.
He missed one earlier, you might recall, but he got that one. He's only 156 pounds. You mentioned he needs to bulk up a little bit. 1 of 2 today, and this team is now 12 of 13 from the line.
Boy, he hit the big jumper from the sidelines.
He's going to be a good one, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
59-56, Nevada, Las Vegas, 7:22 left in the game.
Good fake.
Williams, smooth as silk.
What a play.
6 points for Reggie Williams, the high school player of the year at Dunbar and Baltimore last season.
I'm surprised UNLV doesn't pull the ball out a little bit, even with the clock on. See what Georgetown will do with that zone.
Look at Banks. Boy, he's playing with confidence.
Chewing gum out there. Smart move by Jerry Tarkanian to put him on the point because he's going to put up that jump shot and he pulls the zone out.
Collins catching. Oh, Ewing go up on that. And he's going to pump one. That's way short. Air ball and a foul.
Collins, that's all.
That's all for him. That's 5 on Jeff. Boy, that was kind of a frustration foul. Boy, look at the disappointment. The senior, he has what a personable young guy. We were practice visiting with him, and you know what impressed me about him? He was trying to help Banks. He was talking to him how to attack the zone. Here's the senior. He wanted to win this one.
Well, there's been a lot of criticism of the UNLV program regarding guys graduating. Here's a fellow that transferred in, was going to graduate on time, a psychology major. He said if he doesn't make it in pro ball or get the chance, that's what he wants to go into and get his PhD.
1 point lead now. 2 men have fouled out. And Brozovic, look what I've got. To James. It'll be off of Gene Smith.
So quick.
Looked like he had an easy 2, and all of a sudden here comes number 22.
Gene Smith never quits.
6:29 to go. 59-58, Nevada, Las Vegas.
This has been a Final Four type ball game, hasn't it?
Spoon James, and it's off a Spoon. That was Smith again with the defense. That's what he does. He just gets the whole tempo riled up defensively for Georgetown. There's your time left.
This is the kind of game that makes people angry in New York City. They said, well, I'll just watch a half. They have to stay up till 1:30 to see the end.
Reggie Williams down low to guard him is Spoon James.
Not a good shot.
No, sir. And that'll be off of UNLV. They were waiting. The officials weren't sure. Clark was sure it was his ball.
That breaks your heart when your team plays great defense, as Jerry's team did right there, and then have a man take a bad shot and end up with possession.
Into
39 and 66.
That went into Ewing. He will count, and Brozovic is fouled out of the ball game.
You talk about a big turnaround.
Third man to foul out. Brozovic will leave, and we're going to have to see John Flowers, I would think, now.
Yeah, I think so. And he's looking at Jerry, knowing he's going in there.
Three men have fouled out. Adams, Brozovic, Collins. Here comes Flowers. This guy out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, was a remarkable athlete. He was a long jumper. He ran the 440. He played for Bobby Knight, transferred out here. He wants to play so badly, but Billy really hasn't learned the system yet.
And what he better show right now is some patience, because he might try to come in and do too much too soon.
Nevada, Las Vegas has fouled out three men in the last minute and 46. A 2-point lead now for Georgetown. 6:07. We're going to find out how deep they can go on their benches. Flowers comes in at 6'10".
Well, they're already down to their third big man, so that's not bad. Georgetown playing a 1-3-1 zone now.
Here's Smooth into catching. Good.
Oh, I thought he'd make that shot.
Graham comes out. Boy, Graham is a tough guy. They're going to elbow him.
Yep.
You cannot flail away with those elbows, and Graham, as an end result, comes away with a foul.
Well, we've seen, Gary, some mistakes made by inexperienced players here lately. Bad shots taken. That particular play by Graham, they only learn by getting experience.
5:41. Thanks. Off to Tarkanian.
Georgetown now playing that 2-1-2 zone. They really changed defenses an awful lot.
Two excellent coaches.
Nice pass.
Baseline Flowers.
How to make a man out of it. Jared Tarkanian breathes a sigh of relief.
First shot of a very pressure-packed game, and he buried it. 61-all. Ewing, Wingate, and Flowers for a moment. Smith's got it. Here is Wingate again. Follow, Graham. Oh, they're all over the place. Wingate. Catchings has got it.
Boy, if you don't like this kind of basketball, there's going to be a foul right there. Let's see if they're going to call a double foul. Williams and Catchings. Maybe the official just going to stop and warn him. We'll see.
I think what that should also correct, Billy, is that elbow a while ago is not a foul. It's just an elbow violation.
Right.
So they turned the ball over.
I think they called a double foul there. I think they called a double foul on Catchings.
Well, we're going to have a conference here between the officials. Let's see. It may have been a warning, though. Let's see.
The official just asked the other official, what do you have?
That was away from the ball, way down the floor. Look at Tark.
Yeah. John doesn't realize Tark's up there. If he does, you better believe he'll be running up to this huddle. Here he comes. Here he comes. You better believe it. There's not going to be any huddle with referees that he's not into.
I'll tell you, one of the discussions here, Billy, is they're trying to figure out where they should reset the shot clock.
Well, I think
28 seconds on it, and of course they had the stoppage of the clock on the warning.
that's interesting. I think that really you ought to set it back at the top.
Well,
But it's not going to be that way.
No. So the warning, no foul, 28 seconds on the shot clock, 4:34 to go in the game.
Now, being a warning, I guess that would be right. If it had been a double foul, which I thought maybe it had been at first, they would have reset it.
61-all. There's Banks.
Boy, he is showing some moxie.
4-12. 8 points all the second half by Banks.
Good play by Ewing to throw that ball back out.
Wingate into Ewing. Tarkanian went for the steal. Partially blocked by Flowers, and he fouled it.
He got him beyond.
I tell you, Ewing has got through all the centers they've got. Now he's starting on Flowers.
One thing that Ewing is going to realize now that they're really collapsing in around him, and he's going to be able to throw the ball over to the weak side. Now watch this. He's going to have all kinds of people around him. There's got to be a man open behind him because they're 4
family can survive this kind of pressure.
They're the first people to get into heaven. Don't just watch.
She's not even watching right now. He got them both. Patrick Ewing now with 24 points. He's hit 7 of his last 9 free throws. It's all equal. It's even at the 3:55 mark. The largest indoor crowd in Nevada history seeing a game of major proportions. It's all tied up for the 4th time. We've had 15 lead changes. 5th ranked Georgtown, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, unbeaten and looking to move up in the rankings. 3:52 left. The shot clock is off now as you go inside the last 4 minutes.
And look at Catchings helping Tarkanian bring the ball up against the press. Both teams really well drilled. You see, Vegas did not try to go ahead and beat the press all at one time. They brought it up in levels, and therefore they could go into their half-court game. Now it's up to Georgetown to come out because it's a tie score. That means it's up against the defense to come out and play the offense.
And again, no shot clock to worry about.
Looks like Jerry wants to work a little time off this clock.
Well, he's got so many people in foul trouble.
Be a very, very smart move on his part. Because you know you got the crowd in your favor.
Look at Banks. He's standing out there like a 4-year veteran.
And if you're Georgetown, the pressure's on you because you don't want to go all the way down to the wire and have UNLV have a chance for the last shot.
We approach 3 minutes to go in the game.
Smart play by Banks. Look at him use the hash mark. When you use the hash mark, the 5-second count goes off. For a freshman, he really has some composure out there.
If we would have a held ball, the next possession would go to Georgetown. That's something to keep in mind. There's your time left. You see it in the lower right-hand portion of the screen.
You have to think about who you go to foul in this situation, too. I really like what Banks is doing out here.
Isn't he something? He get all of that poise.
Georgetown is in his zone. Flowers shouldn't have put the ball on the floor. Tarkanian tells him that too. He said, you just keep the ball in your hand, save your dribble. Smart ball club.
A little pressure now by Wingate.
I think Georgetown's going to have to go man-to-man, Gary. They're playing this zone, and it's going to go down to the wire to the point that it's all in the favor of the man that's got the ball.
You see now, almost 2 minutes left in the game. There it is. They started this at 3:55.
And if you're UNLV, you don't want anything other than an uncontested layup here. Don't try to be a hero and make a drive past Pat Ewing.
UNLV has 1 timeout left. Georgetown with 2.
Gary, look for Georgetown to drop all the way back in his zone and then come out and start picking their men up man-to-man.
Boy, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, they got to go man-to-man here shortly.
1:30.
And they got a bad matchup. They got Gene Smith back there on Flowers. Quite a mismatch.
Ooh, almost stolen that time by Bill Martin.
Look for Georgetown to go man-to-man. Here.
It's all tied up, and we approach a minute to go. We've had every kind of pressure, and this is a new kind of pressure now, isn't it? Oh, Flowers almost lost it.
Looks like they might even want to foul him. I can't believe Georgetown's not going man-to-man.
John Thompson's getting up now. He may make a move.
They've got to go man-to-man because you got UNLV with a chance to take the last shot.
Again, it started at the 3:55 mark. We're inside 40 seconds.
They've got to go man-to-man.
The crowd is on their feet now.
And I don't think Tarkanian ought to call a timeout either.
He's only got 1 left.
Well, don't call the timeout because you don't want Georgetown to be able to get defensively oriented.
Georgetown dropping back in there a little bit.
Okay, last shot.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I called timeout. That surprised me. I think it was in his advantage not to let Georgetown get organized.
14 seconds to go. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. 14 seconds to go. Jerry Tarkanian used his last timeout to stage what he hopes is a game-winning shot.
Gary, a lot of theories on that, whether you should call a timeout or not. I thought that he had Georgetown kind of confused in the fact they were in the zone. They really didn't have a good matchup to play in. Now he's got 2 problems. 1, what kind of defense is Georgetown going to be in? And 2, he's got to get the ball in bounds.
that Georgetown will have 3. UNLV will have 1. 63 all. We go to overtime. 5 minutes. Now, one way to look at it rule-wise is an extension of the regular game, except you give each team an additional timeout, meaning that Georgetown has 3, UNLV has 1.
And you start it with a jump ball, just as if it was start of the ball game.
Ewing will go up against John Flowers.
I always like to see what the philosophy is of a coach in an overtime. Does he want to hold it for one shot, or is he going to go ahead and write on play?
UNLV was 2-0 in overtime games last year.
And you can see what John Thompson is going to do. He's going to his 4 corners with Jackson out front. Nobody from UNLV handled Jackson very well on the drive at the end of the second half.
So they're going to take a page out of UNLV's book. They stalled it for 3:55.
Good reverse dribble.
Jackson to Martin, and Flowers blocks it from nowhere.
You talk about an athlete.
Well, Tark said he was dying to play, and he's playing.
I don't think you'll see Georgetown back in his zone during the overtime.
That shot was headed in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, John Flowers.
Boy, and Tark got great play off the bench for both teams, for that matter. These clubs are 2 really top-notch college basketball teams. UNLV, win or lose, is going to be looked by the pollsters in a different light after this game.
This time, Georgetown.
Look out!
Flowers.
Shot, Pat Ewing.
John Flowers has hit 2 field goals. That is a big one.
So now Georgetown's got to get back into the regular offense.
Flowers went by him like a sprinter. He being Ewing.
And he is a sprinter.
Yep.
He is so pumped up.
Jackson, he got a hand on him, and they didn't call the foul, but Wingate saved it in anyway. No, he was over the end line. Let's look at that. It looked to me.
And Jackson was fouled. Now look at this play right here. Ewing goes out. Flowers wheels on him. And at this point, he's got a lane to the basket. What a play.
21 turnovers against Georgetown. John Flowers has found a new home.
Jerry Tarkanian asking the ref if he's got one more timeout. He asked questions and he knew the answers 2 years ago just to get the referee's attention.
Boy, that was Smith almost coming up with a steal. Tarkanian couldn't find anybody open. This is where you need the Collinses, the guys that have fouled out of your game.
Well, Collins really would have helped because he's the kind of guy Tarkanian could have had take that last shot. But I thought that Spoon James did a good job with it, just didn't go in.
John Flowers, boy, he draws a crowd. Boy, he kept his poise, though, didn't he?
Look at who made the catch. Our boy catching.
65-63. Georgetown doing a much better job defensively now coming out.
What's going to be there is a backdoor play right now because Georgetown's really overplaying. There it is, right there. Great play.
And he stepped on the end line.
Boy, James had the backdoor cut. All he had to do is take the jump shot. He tried to go too far.
And Ewing was there. He tried to go around him and ran out of room. And now Michael Jackson will come back into the ball game. Fred Brown will leave.
Let it play a little offense-defense, is Jeff Thompson. He puts in his defensive man on one end of the floor and tries to get Jackson in back there for offense.
It's like Banks dribbled that ball up his foot.
He did. He should have pulled up and take the jumper after he made the backdoor cut.
65-63. Nevada, Las Vegas by 2 in overtime. 2:38 left in it.
They're looking for Ewing on the inside, but Flowers is doing a great job on him. Of course, Flowers played for Bobby Knight, so he had some defensive teaching before he ever got here.
Ewing trying to get the foul, nothing doing. Wingate, and a pushing foul is going to go on, let's see, it's going to go on UNLV. It's going to be on James.
Looks like Spoon James, yep.
That's 5 for James, the 3rd man to foul out.
Probably going to bring Booker in the game now.
I should say the 4th man to foul out. Adams, Brozovic, James, and Collins have all fouled out. I'll bet you it's been a long time since Tarkanian's had 4 men foul out.
Well, you know what his record is? He's had a team that fouled out 6 guys, and the opponent fouled out 6. 12 guys fouled out in the ball game. I was really reading some stuff on their team.
And let's see who he's going to come in with.
I think he's got to come back with Booker. He's got to come back with
Yeah, that's who he's talking to.
Yeah.
Booker, the veteran, a good ball handler, outside shooter. Arcanian is saying, let's get our guy out here.
You can get a technical. You're not getting him in there in time.
They're losing a little bit of size, though. Booker at 6'4", James was at 6'7".
Well, I think they'd be all right if they had the lead, because Booker's a pretty good ball handler, a good free throw shooter, and he can make that jump shot. But if they get behind, they're hurting, as you said, on the size standpoint.
Speaking of good free throw shooters, this guy's 6 of 6, 75% for the year. And Wingate can tie it up if he hits his next one. And now Fred Brown is going to come back in.
He's coming in out on the defensive end of the floor.
Get Jackson out. They did that just a moment ago so quickly. Jackson and Brown trying to utilize their abilities. Brown defensively, Jackson offensively. Shows you the cat and mouse game you play, the coaching that goes on.
Well, Freddie Brown really hasn't come back from that injury. And here's that sea of towels.
It's tied up. Fifth tie of the afternoon or evening, I should say. Clark has his towel now.
Okay, here's Gene Smith on Tarkanian. Tarkanian really has to be careful here.
Smith, he just gets right in your face, doesn't he? Look at him. He's down low. Catching. 2 minutes.
Tarkanian wide open in the corner. He's not going to take that shot.
Both teams have scored only 2 points in this overtime.
Now, catching really shows his versatility, being able to go outside and handle this ball. They need some help out here with ball handling.
And 5 seconds remaining. I did not see that.
That's a quick whistle. That was a quick whistle.
And Tarkanian is in tears almost, and I got to tell you, that was a surprise.
You actually have to be in a guarding position within 6 feet of your man. So you don't really have to be up there in his face, but that was a quick whistle.
All the action that was going on. So the turnover, major proportion. Georgetown with the ball.
1:34 to go.
They better be alert to it on this end.
All the officials are waving right now, keeping that signal count.
Hanks going for the steal.
Gene Smith needs to get rid of that ball. When a man is open, you should pass it to him.
Well, Georgetown, they're going to play for the last shot.
Wingate a tough one-on-one penetrator, and so is Jackson. I'm surprised they don't have Jackson in the middle. He's staying over on the wing.
Inside a minute. 65 all. There's Ewing. They're going to try to go back door. They had Jackson open.
Yep, I don't think Ewing was ready to take a blind pass. John Thompson's got his timeouts left.
He has 3 to be exact. Wingate.
Foul on the outside.
No basket, but a foul on Booker.
I tell you, right now, Georgetown is a tough team to defend because you've got Jackson, who's a great one-on-one driver, and so is Wingate. Hard to handle those guys.
Well, they're tough to defend when you got 4 guys out of your starting lineup, or 3 of them, I should say. 4 fouled out, 3 starters.
The only game Wingate didn't start was a game down in Western Kentucky last year as a freshman who was sick before the ball game. Other than that, he was in the starting lineup every game.
Wingate for the night has 18 points. He's hit all 8 free throws, 5 rebounds. Boy, he's hit them, hasn't he?
You know what might be the best thing with Wingate? Don't wave the towels, because it's not bothering him a bit.
Wingate has all 3 of Georgetown's points in this overtime and the 4th. 66-65, Georgetown. There's what he's looking at.
What he's looking at is a spot up on that rim. He doesn't even see all those fouls. Great shooting on the part of Wingate.
A 2-point lead for Georgetown.
Georgetown shows a little half-court zone trap.
Banks, double team, got it back. I don't know how he did it. He was fouled by Gene Smith.
That's a fine coaching move by John Thompson going to the half-court trap, showing something different. It's a good play by Banks, who showed him that he's a pretty good freshman foul shooter.
Well, coming into the game, hitting 84%. He's 2 of 3 tonight. John Thompson played with the Boston Celtics, played at Providence. 12th year as coach at Georgetown. As you mentioned, just made a little wrinkle change there defensively. Jackson comes back in. Fred Brown will sit down. And Banks, who's played with such poise, has some pressure free throws here.
Yeah, we talked about Tarkanian's record. How about John Thompson? Georgetown never had a 20-win season until he got there, and now he's on a streak of them.
Banks got the front end of it. You know, Nevada, Las Vegas, Phillies missed only 1 free throw tonight. They're 14 of 15. He can tie it up.
Georgetown's got a timeout to use. I think they'll use it, too, if they get the ball over half court, set up something for the last play if they tie it.
Oh, he did it. Yep.
Look for Georgetown to get it down here and call a timeout with about 14 now.
Smith to Wingate. They bring it out. You see the time left.
They're not going to call it.
They sure are. Thompson sitting down on the bench. Wingate. Timeout. UNLV with 4 seconds.
Great penetration by Wingate. There was that coaching philosophy change.
And Wingate has 22 points. He has to be considered very strongly for our MVP. Wingate made some move to give them the lead. We're going to look at it once again.
Well, we said Jackson and Wingate, tremendous penetrators right here. And look at this move using both the right and the left hand. Glides on in for the perfect shot. And Gary, you've got a startling stat right there.
That's right. Mike Swanson, our statistician, said that was Georgetown's first field goal since 6:07 in regulation. That means they went over 11 minutes without a field goal. That's hard to believe, huh?
Is that what we pay Swanee for?
That's right.
I've often wondered.
He's all league.
Boy, that was nice going, Swanee.
Now 4 seconds, and now Georgetown's going to call for a timeout.
Well, what John Thompson wanted to do right there is to see what the defensive strategy was going to be. Gary, we were talking about philosophies of coaches. You notice on the other end of the court, Jerry Tarkanian called the time to set up the final play. John Thompson didn't want to give Vegas that kind of an opportunity, so he went right to the end.
Georgetown has 2 timeouts left. UNLV, they've run out of timeouts. 69-67 with 4 seconds left in overtime. UNLV has the basketball. They got to come the length of the floor.
Gary, what UNLV would do if they had a timeout is maybe get it up to half court and call a quick timeout to be able to operate. But they've got to go the length of the court now because they don't have the time. John Thompson putting in a little more size, using Graham down at an end to make it tough for Tarkanian to throw the ball long. What you got to make sure that you don't do if you're Georgetown is commit a foolish foul.
Graham at 6'9", as you mentioned, just checked in after that last timeout. See if he can get it in. To Booker. Ewing's got it. And Georgetown is going to win it. What a game. UNLV, their first loss of the year. The 5th-ranked Georgetown Hoyas now move their record to 10-1 on the year. John Thompson's crew, led by Ewing and then David Wingate. Wingate made an outstanding athletic move. This was the winning basket.
Well, here was that drive, and it was tough all night to handle Wingate and Jackson one-on-one. Wingate goes through the lane, crosses over dribble, and then that gliding shot of his puts it in, and that was all that she wrote.
He scored all 6 points in overtime. He finished with 22 points and 5 rebounds. And so, as an end result, David Wingate is our Chevrolet most valuable player of the game. And there's his statistics on the night at Chevrolet.
Through the whole round, but the main voice, Eddie Futch, the brains in that corner, didn't say a word.